So hello and welcome to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we're going to look into a bigger topic of structure of an atom and the periodic table. But I'm going to look into the introduction and look at the structure of an atom. So this is from 2 work, and maybe in ICBS it may be class 10. So we need to define what an atom is. So the atom is referred to as the smallest particle of an element that can take part in a chemical reaction. So it consists of even smaller particles referred to as subatomic particles, i.e. we have protons, we have neutrons, and we have electrons. So let's go to the structure of an atom. So an atom has 2 regions that are key. One is the region which is occupied by electrons, and number 2 is the nucleus. So the nucleus comprises of protons and also neutrons. So region where the electrons occupy are also referred to as the energy level and are very key as we study on. I'll explain more. Okay. So, for instance, helium has 2 protons, has 2 electrons, and has 2 neutrons. So, for us to do the structure of helium, we need to be able to know that it has 2 protons, 2 electrons, and 2 neutrons. So, besides that, we have characteristics of the subatomic particles. And number 1 is that proton is usually positively charged and has a relative mass of 1 atomic mass unit, or AMU. The neutron has no charge and has relative mass of 1 atomic mass unit. Then electron is negatively charged and has a very negligible mass, relative mass, which is 1 over 1840 atomic mass unit. And then lastly is that you need to know that the number of protons is usually equivalent to the number of electrons. Hence, the atom is said to be electrically neutral. So the neutrons actually contribute to the stability of an atom since it has no charge. So these key terms are also very key for us to understand to be able to know how to study the structure of an atom when we are writing their chemical formulas. So the first one is atomic number. So is the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom, e.g. hydrogen has 1 proton in the nucleus, right? Hence the mass number is equivalent to 1. Helium has 2 and potassium has 19 number of protons. So one thing you need to note is that the mass of a given atom is always equal to the sum of the relative masses of the proton and neutron in the nucleus, since their masses are almost the same, whereas that of the electron is almost negligible. So let's move to mass number. So is the sum of the proton and the neutrons of an atom of an element. Okay, e.g. helium atom has 2 protons and 2 neutrons. So hence the mass number is 4. So that means you're taking 2 plus 2, then adds up to 4. So also one thing you need to note about it is that the mass number and the atomic number of a given element can be written along the symbol of the element. So for instance, the mass number is written as a superscript on the upper side, while the atom number is written as a subscript in front of the chemical symbol. For example, we have sodium here having 23 here as a superscript, and a subscript will be atomic number. So that's how we always see on the periodic table. And then the last one is the isotope. And okay, let me stabilize it. So these are atoms of the same element having equal atomic number but different mass numbers. Okay, and they have the same number of protons but they have different number of neutrons, resulting to the mass number And a good example is chlorine, which have 35 isotope and 37 isotope. So it only has 2 isotopes. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next lesson.